Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of biology. And of course, today we are looking at movement in plants. Look at movement in plants. Okay, and this movement in plants can be termed as irritability. Okay, or can call it sensitivity. Okay, so I want to looking at movement in plant today. But before we begin, do not forget that these tutorials, these episodes, these videos are brought to you by the O3 Schools app, okay, for JAMB and for WAEC preparation and any O-level exam, as a matter of fact. Okay, please ensure you get the app. We'll talk about the app in a moment. Let us see a question as relates to movement in plants. Okay, from the app, this is a 2003 question, a JAMB past question, 2003 question number 28. It is being displayed on your screen right now. It says that the response of plants to external stimuli in a non-directional manner is known as non-directional. That is the keyword there. A says tactic movement. B says phototropism. C says geotropism. And D says Nastic movement. All right, so at the end of the class we'll come back to this what question and many more, because at all three schools our belief is that we should give you value first. Make we first teach you. Let us teach you, and once we have taught you and you have assimilated, then any question being thrown at you will be very easy for you to surmount. All right, so please ensure you get the O3 Schools app from Play Store, from App Store. All right, the app has all the past questions that you need for your exam. Is all in the app. All past questions for all subjects is in the app. Okay, and of course, what is more, there are a couple of wonderful features, like the classroom feature that has been displayed on the screen right now. The classroom feature has lecture notes structured according to the JAMB syllabus. And apart from these lecture notes, okay, there's also a study plan. That means you can create a study schedule for yourself, and the timetable will be created for you by the app itself. And then you can follow it with the note on the app, okay, and then be able to finish your syllabus in time. All right, so very wonderful feature. Take advantage of this opportunity and start immediately. Likewise, question search feature, just like the way we search for this question now, we do not struggle ourselves at all. We just went to question search on the app. We click on the subject biology, and then we just search for movements, okay, movements in plants, all right, and then questions that JAMB has said under movement in plant came out. Then we are going to answer some of them in this class, okay. Then likewise, please ensure to know that there's a UTME challenge or a mock challenge on the app for both JAMB and WAEC. Every Saturday, all students come together to compete with each other to win amazing prizes. But the prizes is not the main purpose of the challenge. The prizes is not the main purpose of the challenge. The main purpose of the challenge is for you to familiarize yourself with JAMB past question, to familiarize yourself with JAMB likely exam question, to put yourself in place of an examiner and see how he reason, how he may want to confuse you, okay? And as well, you'll be seeing your result released, just like a normal JAMB or WAEC exam, all right? And then this will help you to know how prepared you are at every point in time, all right? So please ensure you jump on the app and activate it. Activation of the app is, the price of activation is less than the price of rice. If you go to a restaurant and say you want to buy rice now, okay, and chicken, even mama put, okay, the price is lesser than it. So please check the price on the application and activate. If you want to activate, just message this phone number on WhatsApp, 09121 515246. If you want to download the app for your laptop, okay, the link can be sent to you also from this phone number. All right, I haven't said much. Let us talk about movement in plants. Now, before I begin, I would like to ask someone a question. I'll ask you guys a question. Have you ever seen a plant where they run, carrying children for head, in leaves for head, begin to run up and down, apart from cartoon, in real life? Have you ever seen a plant moving from place to place? And that is definitely a no, because no plant moves from place to place like animals move, okay? So they do not move like animals move, okay? But definitely these plants, they move. Their movement may be very slow or subtle, okay? or subtle. The movement may be very slow or subtle, but definitely they move. And usually when they move in response to stimuli. Okay, so usually when plants move, they move in response to what? To stimuli. Okay, so you must take note of that. Plants do not have the ability to be running like animals from place to place. Okay, but they definitely move. They show movement. Okay, and mostly they respond to what? To stimuli. They respond to what? To stimuli. And this movement in plants is what we call what? Irritability. All right. Okay. Movement in plants is what we call what? Irritability. So we can define irritability if you are asked. Okay, I think there's a JAMB past question that has to do with that. All right. So let me define for you. What is irritability? All right. You say that what? Irritability can be defined as the ability. Irritability can be defined as the ability of a living organism to respond, okay, to what? Stimuli. Okay, so irritability can be defined as the ability of a living organism to respond to what? To stimuli. All right, please take note of that. That is irritability. So the ability of a living organism to respond, okay, to stimuli is what we call what? Irritability or sensitivity. Okay, please take note of that. It's very, very important. In fact, it's an exam question. Okay, so do not throw that mark away. And then likewise, there are what? Three major types of what? Of movement in plant or respond to what? To stimuli. Okay, in plants. Okay, number one, we have what we call the taxism. Okay, taxism is also called tactic movement. Okay, it's also called taxis. All right, so we have taxism, all right, or tactic movement or taxis movement. Okay, we also have tropism, number two. Tropism, number two. Then number three, we have what? Nastic movement. All right. So these are the major what? Types of what? Response to what? To stimuli. Okay. These are the major type. Three major types of response to stimuli. The tactic movement or taxism, the tropism, and the nastic movement. And you are expected to know all of them. So now I'm going to take each of them one after the other, the way we do it, okay? But before we begin, ensure that please you have liked this video. A lot of you will see that you do not support us. You do not even care, okay, whether we grow or not, all right? You do not appreciate us, all right? And of course, you can support this channel to grow by just liking this video. And do you know what liking this video does? It's also what makes students who are not aware of this channel to easily what get what awareness whenever you are liking it. Okay, that hand that shows like this, just click on that like button even now as you are watching. Okay, and then this video can be easily recommended to what other students who are searching for something similar. All right, then likewise, do not forget to subscribe. Subscription is free. You are not paying anybody to subscribe to this your channel. All right, it's just for you to get notification whenever we release a new video. So all updates that are coming in, you'll be getting notification about them whenever what it is what uploaded. Then likewise, copy the link, send to your friends, send to your loved ones. Tell them to come and enjoy teaching, come and enjoy biology. All right, because these are the only ways you can what make us grow. So click on that share button immediately and share and come back and continue. So let us begin with the first one, which is what? Taxism. Okay, the one we say is called tactic movement. Okay, all right. So this is what taxism. Taxism or tactic movement can be defined as the movement of a whole organism, okay, or part of its freely moving part towards or away from stimuli. Okay, so there's stimuli, okay, either what you move, whether the organism move, the whole organism move, or part of its freely moving part, okay, moves either away. This is stimuli, either what towards, okay, this direction, or away from what the stimuli. Okay, so that is what taxism. Okay, you say the movement of a whole organism or its freely moving parts towards or away from stimulus. So let me write that down so that I can get the notes. All right. So please note that even the notes on your you know why our lessons are very, very wonderful, because the notes on the app, the notes to give you in class, they are different. All right. So you are expected to have different view and understanding about what a particular topic, thereby was expanding your understanding. Okay. So say that what taxism is the movement of a whole organism of freely moving parts. Freely moving part, or its freely moving part towards or away from stimulus. Okay, so this is what taxism. Okay, it's the movement of a whole organism or its freely moving part towards or away from stimulus. Okay, and of course, if this organism, if it is moving towards the stimulus, okay, we call that what a positive response. Positive response to the stimulus. Okay, if it is moving towards the stimulus, okay, we call it a positive response to stimulus. And in that case, in terms of what taxism, will be what positive or taxism. All right. So if the organism, all right, is moving towards the stimulus, okay, that means moving what positively towards what the stimulus, we call that a positive taxism. Okay, but if the organism is moving away from the stimulus, okay, we call that one negative response. Okay, and this negative response is called what? Of course, now that would be what now? Negative taxism. Okay, so that is what taxism as a whole. Say taxism is the movement of a whole organism or its freely moving part towards or away from stimulus. Okay, and we say if the organism is moving towards the stimulus, that is a positive response to the stimulus, and in that case to be a positive taxism. But if the organism is moving away from the stimulus, that will be a negative response, and in that case negative taxism. So that will now take us to what? To tropism. Okay, that is bending movement. Okay, that will take us to tropism. The next one, which is what? Tropism. Okay, so we're saying number two, tropism. Okay, so now, what is tropism? Tropism, on the other hand, is the, like I said, bending growth movement. Bending growth movement. Okay, of a part of a plant. Okay, of a part of a plant in response to what we call directional stimuli. Okay, so we say that tropism is the what? Bending growth movement, okay, of a part of a plant in response to what? To directional stimuli. It's directional, okay, directional. It's a directional stimuli. Okay, an example, for example, like the stem of a plant, they are wired to what? To grow upward, isn't it? The stem of a plant is wired to grow upward, while the roots, they are wired to what? To go towards what? Direction of water. Okay, they move against gravity. They go downwards. Roots go downwards. Okay, before some, but not be this root to okay, roots. Okay, roots of plants. Okay, they grow downwards, while the stem naturally goes up. Okay, so that is what a perfect example of what? Of directional stimuli. So that's why we say that tropism is the bending growth movement of a part of a plant in response to directional stimuli. Let me write that down so I get the notes. Say tropism can be defined as the bending growth movement, okay, of a part of a plant in response to what? To directional stimuli, in response to directional stimuli. Okay, and of course, also when it comes to tropism, all right, tropism can also be described as what? Positive or negative. Okay, so tropism can be described as what? As positive or negative, depending on whether this bending movement is towards, okay, or what? Away from the directional what stimuli we're talking about, from the direction of the stimuli. Okay, so tropism can be described as positive or negative depending on the what? On whether the bending movement or bending growth movement of the part of the plant, okay, is moving towards or away from the direction of what? Of stimuli. Okay, so now if the bending movement or bending growth movement, okay, is going towards the direction, okay, if the bending growth movement goes towards the direction of what? Of the stimuli, all right, we call that what? A positive, okay, we call that a positive what? Tropism, okay, or positive response, okay. It's a positive what? Response, because it's moving towards the direction of the stimuli. It's called a positive or tropism. All right. For example, all right, like the roots. Okay, root of a plant. The root of a plant naturally what go downwards. Okay, they go to the direction. That is direction. That is the natural direction. Okay, that is what an example like roots. Example is what? Roots of plants. Okay, why? If the bending movement, okay, is moving or going, all right, away from the direction of the stimuli, like the stem of plants. Okay, in this case, you see them going what? Upwards, okay, instead of what? Roots that are what? Going what? Downward, all right? Because you plant something on the ground and expect it to be, okay, supposed to be going downwards, but you see them what? Going what? Upwards, okay, against what? Gravity, all right? So for that reason, we call this what? A negative response. Okay, it's a negative tropism or negative what? Response. Okay, and because what is causing the stimuli, all right, is what? Is gravity. Gravity is what is causing this stimuli, all right, because of that. And we call this kind of what? Response to stimuli as what? As geotropic. Okay, as what? Geotropism, all right. So for that reason, if the bending growth movement is towards the what? The direction of stimuli, we call it what? Geotropism, positive geotropism. Okay, instead of saying positive tropism, we can also call this what? Positive geotropism. Okay, but this one that is moving away, okay, from the direction of what? The stimuli, we call that one also negative geotropism. All right, so it will be negative geotropism. I hope you get that very, very clear. Okay, so it's as simple as ABC. So we say that for tropism can be defined as the bending growth movement of a part of a plant in response to directional stimuli. Okay, and we say we can describe tropism, okay, all right, depending on whether what it is positive or what negative. We can describe what rather tropism as positive or negative depending on what? On whether the bending growth movement is towards or away from the direction of the stimuli, all right? And say if it is what? Towards the direction of the stimuli, it's a positive tropism, okay? And in that case, it's what's called positive response or positive tropism. But if it is away from the bending, if the bending growth movement is away from the direction of the stimuli, it is called what? A negative or tropism. But I will give example: positive tropism, root of plant. Negative or tropism is what? What do you call it? Stem, okay, of what? Of plants. Okay, so that is what for tropism. Now we're going to see different types of stimuli and what they are called. So let's look at what various responses made by what? By plants. Various responses made by plants. Okay, all right. We'll see the stimuli and then we'll see what is called. Okay, let's go. So we have what? Stimuli, type of what? Tropism. So let us quickly see different type of stimuli and the type of tropism that they are called. Okay. Number one, if the stimuli is caused by unidirectional light, okay, you know, since it's light, it has to be photo. Okay, that will be what? Phototropism. Okay, if it is caused by heat, okay, that is thermo. Okay, that will be what? Thermotropism. If it's caused by water, omi. Okay, Yoruba call it omi. That's called what? Hydro. Okay, definitely very simple. Hydrotropism. If it's caused by electric current, okay, that one is called galvanotropism. Okay, that's called galvanotropism. If it's caused by water current, that one is called rheotropism. If it's caused by gravitational force, okay, like the stem, right? Okay, of what? Of a plant or the root of a plant. That's an example. That's called what? Geotropism. Are we together? Okay, so if it's caused by gravitational force, it's called geotropism. If it's caused by chemicals, stimuli rather, it's caused by what? Chemicals. All right, we call that what? Chemotropism. If it's caused by chemical, if it's caused by mechanical stimulation rather, or touch. Okay, caused by touch or mechanical stimulation. Okay, mechanical stimulation. You call that what? Thigmotropism. If caused by mechanical stimulation. All right, or touch. Okay, then if it's caused by wound lesion, okay, if the stimuli is wound lesion, okay, but let me explain this one. Okay, for example, a plant is growing, then you went to cut it, right? So you already injured the plant. So instead of it growing in that direction, okay, it may decide to move its growth to another direction, okay, because you already injured it in that part. It does not want to grow in that part again. It just goes to another direction and starts growing. Okay. So if the stimuli is caused by wound lesion, it's called traumatropism. Traumatropism. Okay. So these are what? Different types of stimuli and what? The name of type of what? Tropism. Okay, that they undergo. For light, phototropism. For heat, thermo. For water, hydro. Electric current, galvanotropism. Water current, rheotropism. Gravitational force, geotropism. Chemical, chemotropism. Touch, thigmotropism. And wound lesion, okay, that's what we call traumatropism. So quickly now go to the third major type of response to stimuli, okay, that will be what? Nastic movement. Nastic movement. Please ensure you like this video, ensure you subscribe to this channel, and share the link of this video to your friends and loved ones. So let us look at nastic movement. Okay, so what is nastic movement? All right, I will say that nastic movement is the non-directional, all right? It is the non-directional movement, all right, of plants in response to stimuli. Okay, nastic movement is the non-directional movement of plants in response to stimuli. Okay, so it could be response to like something like humidity, all right, like irradiance, all right, irradiance. You know what humidity is now. You know what irradiance is. Irradiance is like the amount of light energy hitting a surface. The amount of light energy hitting the surface. So the more let's say, for example, light is hitting or the leaves of a plant, okay, the more it can photosynthesize, right? So it can it can respond, okay, that's the the plant can respond, all right, to that stimuli, all right? So humidity, irradiance could be in terms of nutrients, okay, nutrients, all right, or temperature. Okay, so we call Nastic movement the non-directional. Non-directional movement of plants in response to stimuli. Okay, please take note. Nastic movement is non-directional. All right, we say what that tropism, tropic movement. Okay, is what is directional. Okay, please take note. Tropic movement is directional. Nastic movement is non-directional. You must take note of what of that. It's very, very important. Okay, these are exam questions. Okay, so we have what a device, okay, called clinostat. Okay, what this device does, okay, is used in experiments, basically to test. Used to what to test. Okay, the growth movement of what of plant. Okay, it's a device that's used to test the influence of gravity on the growth movement of plants. Is to test the influence. Take note of that. Influence of gravity on the growth movement of plants. All right, please take note of that. Clinostat, okay, it's a device, okay, that is to test the influence of gravity on the growth movement of plants. They also have another device we call oxanometer. This one measures the increase of growth, okay, measures the increase of growth in plant. Please take note of that. Okay, so a clinostat tests the influence of gravity on the growth movement of plant. All right, while what the oxanometer measures the increase of growth in what in plant. You must take note of what those devices. Now there are other forms of what of movement. Okay, like for example, we have one we call the protoplasmic. Okay, plasmic was streaming. All right, protoplasmic was streaming. This one happens basically it happens in paramecium. All right, where what the cytoplasm moves, okay, from one part of the cell to the other. Okay, it's called protoplasmic streaming, or it's also called cyclosis. Okay, it's also called cyclosis. All right, it's called protoplasmic streaming or cyclosis. The cytoplasm of the paramecium. Okay, cytoplasm. Okay, or the paramecium move, okay, from one part of the cell, okay, to the other. All right, and this helps to distribute material within the cell. Right, so protoplasmic or streaming is another type of movement. Okay, so it's also called cyclosis. Happens in paramecium, and this protoplasmic streaming involves the conversion of what we call plasma gel to plasma soul. Okay, this plasma soul is like it's a fairly solid form of cytoplasm. Okay, this plasma gel is a fairly solid form of cytoplasm, while this plasma soul, okay, is a fairly liquid. Okay, plasma soul is a fairly liquid form of cytoplasm. Okay, so that is that for that. So we have protoplasmic streaming, all right, also called cyclosis, all right, where the cytoplasm of a paramecium, for example, moves from one part of the cell to the other, helping to distribute materials within the cell. Like I said, that this protoplasmic streaming, okay, can help to convert plasma gel to plasma soul, okay, fairly solid form of cytoplasm to fairly liquid form of the cytoplasm. And we have another type of movement that we call the amoeboid movement. Amoeba movement, okay, right? That is common in amoeba, okay. Either the one you call amoeba or amoeba, okay. So amoeboid movement, all right, it's common in amoeba, okay, and of course also common in the red blood cells corpuscles of man, all right. So just take note of amoeboid movement. Another type of movement common in amoeba, all right, and also common it's also seen in the red blood cells corpuscles, okay, of man. Also some organisms such as Chlamydomonas, like for example Volvox, okay, like Euglena, okay, even paramecium, okay, they move from one place to place by the lashing, okay, by lashing, LASHING, engine by dashing their what? Their cilia or what? Flagella. Okay, please take note of what of that. All right. So talk about just different other forms of what of movement that can be seen. Okay, talk about the photoplasmic streaming. Talk about what body movement, and also saw the movements in what some of these organisms, Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Paramecium, okay, and Euglena. All right, they move by what? By flashing their what? The flagella or the cilia. Okay, so that is that for movement in plants. Okay, or irritability or sensitivity. Okay, now what you need to do is to go to the app, to the O3 Schools app, answer some questions, and then we'll be out of here. Okay, let me see. If they are too easy, you answer them yourself. Let's see. They say living things move. 2022 number 8. 2022 number 8. They say living things move for the following reasons, except A, say to look for food. Is that true? Yes. B, say to run away from danger. Is that true? And you know. C, say to seek mates in time of reproduction. Sometimes if you don't hungry, then they want to do. Okay. Do they move? Did they move? Okay, that's left for you. D, say to grow organs. Okay, so please put the correct answer in the comment section. 2003 number 28 says the response of plants to external stimuli in a non-directional manner. Non-directional manner. Okay, which one is directional? Which one is non-directional? We talk about tropism. We talk about what? Nastism. We say one is directional, the other one is non-directional. So they say what? A say tactic movement, B say phototropism, C say geotropism, D say nastic movement. So put the answer in the comment section. 2011 number 22 says the movement response of a cockroach away from light source, away from light source, is called what? A say positive phototaxism, B say negative phototaxism, C say negative phototropism, D say positive phototropism. I think you should know the answer. Put the answer in the comment section. Now, 2011 number 14 says the ability of a living organism to detect and respond to changes in the environment is referred to as what? A say locomotion, B say irritability, C say growth, D say taxis. Okay, the answer is there looking at you. Put it in the comment section. All right, so we'll be back to what? To continue our study on what? On supporting tissue. All right, in the next class, we're going to be looking at animal tissues. All right, we'll start the introduction and then we'll build up from there. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you for watching.